Everything that was attached to her body was always a mystery. Any whisper about her instantly became a storm in the virtual world. And this time, the storm came from a little ink on her skin, something that fans and the media have been speculating about. But no one ever imagined that its meaning could be this deep. No one was prepared for what Jungkook would reveal. No one was really prepared for the fact that the ink harbored wounds that had never even been seen on her always smiling face. That day, the world stopped for a moment. And this story is not just about tattoos. It's about secrets hidden in silence, about pain carved in silence, and about a star who finally chooses to talk, even though it could shake things up. It all started with an ordinary interview. Jungkook sat in a plain black sweater, his hair left a little disheveled, and his eyes looked different. Not the usual enthusiastic look. There was a weight behind his eyes, like something he had kept for too long. The interview aired exclusively on a Korean YouTube channel that has rare access to top artists. The title is Unremarkable Jungkook, about music and the meaning behind it. But who would have thought, in that hour-long video, Jungkook's one sentence became a global trend and caused a wave of tears around the world. Actually, there is one tattoo that I always hide from the camera, because if you knew what that means, you'd probably see me differently. And so, it opens its long story. Jungkook has long been known to have tattoos on various parts of his body, from his hands full of symbols, numbers, to curious writings. But as it turned out, there was one tattoo that was never really shown. It was hidden on the left side of his chest, right near his heart. The tattoo consists of only one word, written in a handwriting style that is barely legible if not carefully observed. Sorry. That one word. Sorry. And that's the beginning of everything. With a slightly quivering voice, Jungkook began to reveal the origin of the tattoo. Sorry is not just a word. It's memories. It was an apology that was never delivered. It is a scar that does not heal. And as it turns out, the tattoo was created shortly after one of the greatest tragedies he had personally experienced, the death of a close friend from his past, someone who was never made public. Someone who was instrumental in shaping who Jungkook is today. His name is not mentioned. Jungkook simply referred to him as the first person who believed in me when I was nobody. They met when he was a trainee. The figure, whom he referred to only as Hyung, was the one who always helped him deal with the pressure and stress during the harsh training period under Big Hit. We promised to debut together, we'll go on stage together. But reality is not that easy. His voice trembled, his eyes began to turn red. He didn't make it past the final stage. I debuted, he didn't. And I can never forgive myself. A few months after BTS debuted and became known, Jungkook received news that his Hyung had died in a motorcycle accident. But according to internal rumors that were never publicly confirmed, Jungkook's friend was allegedly experiencing severe depression before the incident occurred. And Jungkook, while not blaming himself directly, always felt that he should be there for her. He should have done more. He shouldn't get so caught up in the euphoria of his debut that he forgets someone who once saved him from a slump. Every time I go to a gig, I always imagine him next to me. I wanted to know that I haven't forgotten him, but I never had the courage to talk about it in public. Until now. And this is where the public is made silent. Netizens flooded the comments with tears and heartbreak emojis. The word sorry immediately became a trending topic on Twitter, followed by Jungkook's tattoo, Hyung, and the meaning of Jungkook's tattoo. Not a few tried to guess who Jungkook meant. Many theories have emerged, ranging from fellow trainees in the past who are no longer active in the entertainment industry to former school friends. But one thing is for sure, this recognition opens up a side of Jungkook that has rarely been highlighted, not as a perfect idol, but as a fragile human being who is wounded and who has been carrying a burden that is not seen by the world. And as it turns out, the sorry tattoo is not the only tattoo that has deep meaning. Jungkook also talked about a tattoo on his hand that says Army. This one tattoo is already very well known by the public and has always been a symbol of his love for his fans. But even here, it gives a new layer of meaning to the tattoo. I did it not only because I love the Army, but because the Army saved me so many times. When I'm tired, when I want to stop, I look at this tattoo and I remember that there are millions of people who believe in me, including Hyung, because he's also my first fan. Suddenly, the comments filled the virtual world. Jungkook is not just an artist, he is a poet who writes on his own body, wrote a fan on Weverse. Each of her tattoos is a silent poem, and today she recites it in a voice that breaks our hearts. But of course, not everyone welcomes this with praise. Some have questioned whether this recognition is part of a media strategy. Some tabloid articles began writing speculations that this disclosure was deliberately chosen adjacent to BTS's comeback plans at the end of the year. In fact, some columnists said Jungkook was looking for sympathy to strengthen his personal image as an emotional adult and close to fans. The charges were vehemently denied by the army. Fans from all over the world are united in one new hashtag. Hashtag Respect Jungkook. They demand the media to stop exploiting the artist's feelings only for the sake of clicks and commercial gain. Fans cautioned that Jungkook had no obligation to open his wounds to the public, and that his decision to share this story should be seen as courage, not calculation. But the most surprising thing is the reaction of the BTS members themselves. RM posted an old Polaroid photo with Jungkook with a short but meaningful caption, "I knew this story from the beginning. Proud to finally have the courage to speak up." Suga wrote on Instagram story, "Every wound is a part of our music." That tattoo is one of them. And Taeyong, who was rumored to be feuding with Jungkook some time ago, gave the most surprising response by uploading a plain black picture with the caption, "Hyung, I'm sorry too." What do Taeyong's words mean? Does he know what Jungkook is talking about? Is there a story behind their relationship that has been tightly closed? The deeper the public goes into this story, the more it becomes apparent that Jungkook's confession is just the tip of the iceberg of a long story that has yet to be fully revealed. Netizens are now demanding that the agency provide further clarification. They also requested that the new documentary about BTS be more transparent and touch the emotional side that has been rarely shown. It didn't take long. HYB issued a fairly neutral official statement. They expressed their support for each of their artists who choose to share their personal stories, and said that the company provides a safe space for each member to express themselves. However, they did not provide additional details about who Jungkook's confession referred to. Now, the sorry tattoo is not just ink on the skin. It has been transformed into a collective symbol of wounds, love, loss, and courage. He was a reminder that even Jungkook, the brightest star in the K-pop universe, is an ordinary human being who harbors grief. And with one sentence, he made the whole world love him again, not because of his perfection, but because of his courage to admit that he was not perfect. And this is just the beginning. Because behind every other tattoo on Jungkook's body, the public now realizes that there must be a story. An untold story. A story that would be more heartbreaking than this one. Are we ready to hear it? After the recognition of the tattoo sorry shook the public and brought the entire army to a standstill in a sea of tears, many thought that the story would end there. But the truth is, the storm has just begun. The interview, which seemed simple, turned out to have an unaired cut. It was that piece that leaked through one of the accounts of an international fan base with great influence.